Self-development with tactics.
So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development Tactics podcast. It's actually been a while since I've woken up quite early. Nowadays I kind of wake up at 8 a.m. around. But I actually had an alarm today, but I missed it. I actually woke up, but then I slept in again and whatnot. But in the end, it is kind of difficult to, I think, balance in terms of, okay, I am gonna wake up earlier, potentially, or actually this was my situation yesterday, but I would have only gotten like 6 hours of sleep. I don't know if this is beneficial. I don't know if this is good. But on the flip side, I'm gonna force myself, like shit, to be way more productive than I was yesterday. And I'm already doing that because I'm already recording, which, takes some time and is a portion of my day, is a portion of the work that I need to be doing today. And I've also already soaked in some lentils and prepared coffee for my workout afterwards as a pre-workout. We're gonna go ahead with the inner purpose. Or didn't I already go through that? Wait a second. Know thyself, no? Well, we haven't. So, when there's nothing to identify with anymore, who are you? When forms around you die or death approaches, your sense of beingness, of I am, is freed from its entanglement with form. Spirit is released from its imprisonment in matter. You realize your essential identity as formless, as an all-pervasive presence, of being prior to all forms, all identifications. You realize your nature. What the fuck is going on? You realize your true identity as consciousness itself rather than what consciousness had identified with. That's the peace of God. The ultimate truth of who you are is not in I am this or I am that, but I am. Fucking period. I am not a lawyer, I'm not a teacher, I'm not whoever, but I am. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm just existing. But I do just remember, or try to remember, whether I went through the whole know thyself or no. I'm apologizing for the noises. Let's close that shit. Is this doing any better? A bit, indeed. I don't really know, but I'm anyway gonna skip it, I guess, because I don't want to talk about inner purpose or being. I have a feeling that it is quite important. Your inner purpose is to awaken. It is as simple as that. You share that purpose with every other person on the planet because it is the purpose of humanity. Your inner purpose is an essential part of the purpose of the whole, the universe, and its emerging intelligence. So be true to life by being true to your inner purpose. As you become present and thereby total in what you do, your actions become charged with spiritual power. At first there may be no noticeable change in what you do, only the how changes. So how you do things. Your primary purpose is now to enable consciousness to flow into what you do. Finding and living in alignment with the inner purpose is the foundation for fulfilling your outer purpose. Which kind of makes sense, which is also like the fact that intrinsic motivation can become motivation you can see on the outside, but it is rather difficult that outside motivation, I don't just know the opposite of intrinsic, becomes intrinsic. Period. Outer purpose, doing. Awakened doing is the alignment of your outer purpose, what you do, with your inner purpose, awakening and staying awake. Through awakened, doing, you become one with the outgoing purpose of the universe. Consciousness flows through you into this world. It flows into your thoughts and inspires them. It flows into what you do and guides and empowers it. When doing becomes infused with the timeless quality of being, that is success. Unless being capitalized, by the way. Unless being flows into doing, I gotta drink something. I gotta drink something. Stay hydrated, motherfuckers. Possibly without doing that, fucking with your floors is not good. And one more. Just because I'm already here. Bit of way too strong coffee. But anyway, who cares? So, let's see. Let us see. When a basis for your actions is in alignment with the present moment, your actions become empowered by the intelligence of life itself. And so you also lose yourself in thinking and as well as in your reactions to what happens externally. We are also learning that action, although necessary, is only a secondary factor in manifesting our external reality. The primary factor in the creation is consciousness. No matter how active we are, how much effort we make, our state of consciousness creates our world. And if there is no change on that inner level, no amount of action will make any difference. Outer purpose alone is always relative, unstable and impermanent. This does not mean that you should not be engaged in those activities. It means you should connect them to your inner primary purpose so that a deeper meaning flows into what you do. Which kind of makes sense, doesn't it, you know? Even if it is something that might not be as nice, satisfying or whatever, making it that way so that you do more of it is great, you know, as it is with working out, eating healthy, and whatever it might as well be people are struggling with. Without living in alignment with your primary purpose, whatever purpose you come up with, even if it is to create heaven on earth, will be of the ego or become destroyed by time. Sooner or later, it will lead to suffering. If you ignore your inner purpose, no matter what you do, even if it looks spiritual, the ego will creep into how you do it, and so the means will corrupt the end. The outer purpose varies greatly from person to person, and no other purpose lasts forever. It is a subject to time and then replaced by some other purpose. The only actions that do not cause opposing reactions are those that are aimed at the good of all. They are inclusive and exclusive. They join, they don't separate. They are not for my country, but for all of humanity, not for my religion, but the emergence of consciousness in all human beings, not for my species, but for all sentient beings and all of nature. Awakened doing is the outer aspect of the next stage in the evolution of consciousness on our planet. It means consciousness can now begin to create form without losing itself in it. It can remain conscious of itself even while it creates and experiences form. Why should you continue to create and experience form for the enjoyment of it? How does consciousness do that? Through awakened humans who have learned the meaning of awakened doing. Make sure your goal is not focused on having this or that, such as a mansion by the sea, your own company, or $10 million in a bank. An enlarged image of yourself or a vision of yourself having this or that are all static goals, and therefore don't empower you. Instead, make sure your goals are dynamic. That is to say, point toward an activity that you are engaged in and through which you are connected to other human beings as well as to the world. Instead of seeing yourself as famous actor and writer and so on, see yourself inspired countless people with your work and enriching their lives. Feel how that activity enriches you or deepens not only your life but that of countless others. Realizing that what he's talking about is kind of a way too overcomplicated version of try to do something that is going to benefit others because you're going to do more of it because it feels good to do so. And it is a commonsensical good thing to do, to do something that is benefiting somebody else. And a ton of people have been talking about that one should indeed do something or pursue something that is going to help somebody else because you're going to do more of it, because it feels good, because it is a driver. But yeah, anyway. Feel yourself being an opening through which energy flows from the unmanifested source of our life through you for the benefit of all. When you are present, when your attention is fully in the now, that presence will flow into and transform what you do. There will be quality and power in it. You are present when what you're doing is not primarily a means to an end, money, prestige, winning, but fulfilling in itself. When there is joy and aliveness in what you do, and of course, you cannot be present unless you become friendly with the present moment, that is the basis for effective action uncontaminated by negativity. I would agree to that. I would fully agree to that. And that's actually the end of summary part 2, and it is awakened doing. So what really is awakened doing? The modalities of awakened doing are acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. Each one presents a certain vibrational frequency of consciousness. Modality means the underlying energy frequency that flows into what you do and connects your actions with the awakened consciousness that is emerging into this world. And there is a quote by J. Krishnamurti or something. This is my secret. I don't mind what happens. Which just means amor fati, doesn't it? Love faith or love your faith, whatever it might be. Acceptance. Performing an action in a state of acceptance means you are at peace while you do it. That peace is a subtle energy vibration which then flows into what you do. If you can neither enjoy or bring acceptance to what you do, stop. Otherwise, you're not taking responsibility for the only thing you can really take responsibility for, which also happens to be one thing that really matters, your state of consciousness. And if you're not taking responsibility for your state of consciousness, you're not taking responsibility for life. Which just makes sense. Accepting means you allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling at that moment. It is part of the isness of the now. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with what is. Well, you can, but if you do, you suffer. Through allowing, you become what you are, vast, spacious. You become whole. You're not a fragment anymore, which is how the ego perceives itself. Your true nature emerges, which is one with the nature of God. Enjoyment. When you make the present moment, instead of past and future, the focal point of your life, your ability to enjoy what you do and with it the quality of your life increases dramatically. Joy is the dynamic aspect of being. When the creative power of the universe becomes conscious of itself, it manifests as joy. Joy does not come from what you do, it flows into what you do and thus into this world from deep within you. To be more precious, and what you are enjoying is not really the outward action, but the inner dimension of consciousness that flows into the action. This is finding the joy of being in what you are doing. The joy of being is the joy of being conscious. Which is actually very well said, by the way. And very empowering, I would say. If just being existent, just living, if this is just one of the best things there is indeed, then you're doing everything right, and I'm doing everything right because I'm still living. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means there is deep enjoyment in what you do, plus the added element of a goal or a vision that you work toward. You will feel like an arrow that is moving toward the target and enjoying the journey. This is why Ralph Waldo Emerson, who is an author as well, I think there was a book called The Force or something. It's been pretty good as far as I remember. Said that nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from the ancient Greek en and theos, meaning God, and the related word enthusiasm means to be possessed by a god. With enthusiasm, you will find that you don't have to do it all by yourself. In fact, there's nothing of significance that you can do by yourself. Sustained enthusiasm brings into existence a wave of creative energy, and all you have to do then is ride the wave. Through enthusiasm, you enter into full alignment with the outgoing creative principle of the universe, but without identifying with its creations, that is to say, without ego. Enthusiasm is the power that transforms the mental blueprint into the physical dimension. That is the creative use of mind, and that is why there is no wanting involved. You cannot manifest what you want, you can only manifest what you already have. Continue to the next post in this series. We're not going to do so because I'm going to end the episode there. I'm enjoying the book. I really am. Period, I guess. See you the next time. Bye-bye.